I started wearing a fake diamond ring on the subway after being harassed. Yesterday, it saved me from something much worse than catcalling after moving to New York for graduate school. I quickly learned the unspoken rules of subway etiquette. Avoid eye contact, keep your headphones in, and perfect the 1,000-yard stare. What I wasn't prepared for was the relentless male attention during my late-night commutes from the library. Why don't you smile, beautiful? Were you going all alone? Let me get your number. When ignoring them didn't work, I remembered my cousin's advice. Taryn, she wore a fake wedding ring whenever she traveled solo. So I bought a $30 cubic zirconia ring from Amazon. Nothing fancy but convincing at a glance. The difference was immediate and depressing. The same men who wouldn't take no from a single woman would respectfully back off at the sight of an imaginary husband. For 6 months, that ring was part of my evening routine. Perrant keys, pepper spray, fake diamond. I hardly thought about it anymore. Last Thursday, I was working late on my thesis, caught the 11:40 train and found myself alone in the subway car except for a man who entered at the last minute before the doors closed. Something about him immediately set off alarm bells. Tarrant, he was too well dressed for the time of night, too alert, too focused on surveying the empty car. He sat diagonally across from me despite the entire car being empty. I clutched my bag closer, finger on the pepper spray in my pocket. He stared openly, then smiled when I accidentally made eye contact. That's a beautiful ring, he said, nodding toward my left hand. Recently married? I tensed, but played along. 3 years now. Lucky guy, he replied, but kept staring. W, here is he tonight meeting me at the station. The lie came automatically. His smile tightened. Which station? My stop was next, but I lied again. 2 more after this one. He nodded slowly, then casually took out his phone. Instead of looking at it, he positioned it so its black screen reflected the subway car behind him like a mirror. That's when I noticed he was watching someone else's reflection. Prate, another man sitting quietly at the far end of the car whom I hadn't noticed before. The well-dressed man looked at my ring again. You know, I collect jewelry. That diamond has an unusual cut. May I see it? Before I could answer, he stood and moved to the seat beside me. The other man at the end of the car simultaneously stood up. The doors opened at my stop. I needed to leave, but both men were watching me now. My husband's waiting, I said firmly, standing up. The well-dressed man's demeanor changed instantly. No one's waiting. Here is no husband. Let's see what else you are lying about in that bag. As I moved toward the door, he grabbed my wrist. Actually, I know something about diamonds. That one's fake, just like your story. What happened next was pure instinct. Axe, I shouted toward the platform. Axe, I entja. Both men hesitated, looking toward the doors. In that split second, I yanked my arm free, slipped past them, and ran onto the platform directly toward a transit police officer who was by pure luck standing by the fare machines. Those men just tried to rob me, I gasped. The officer immediately radioed for backup and moved toward the train, but both men had slipped out the doors at the other end of the car. After reviewing security footage, the police told me they'd been tracking these two for weeks. They work as a team, targeting women they believed were alone and vulnerable, using reflections to coordinate their movements without obvious signals. They'd been involved in at least 7 muggings, 2 of which had turned violent. You did everything right, the officer told me. The fake husband waiting, yelling a specific name, running toward authority instead of the exit. But the ring Perna probably saved your life. They look for wedding rings specifically. Why? I asked. Wedding rings mean someone expects you home. Someone will immediately look for you if you go missing. They specifically target women without them. I still wear my fake ring on the subway, but now I also take Urbers home after dark, text friends when I am leaving the library, and enrolled in self-defense classes. The police never caught those particular men, but the footage helped identify them from prior incidents. Sometimes safety looks like mace or martial arts training. Sometimes it looks like a $30 piece of fake jewelry that tells potential predators that you won't disappear without someone asking questions. I hate that the world works this way, but until it changes, my fake wedding ring stays on my finger.